everyone, welcome to or welcome back to my channel, So Little Time, and my name is Karen. In today's vlog, I'm going to be talking to you briefly about what I made during 2019 and then just updating you where I got to on my Make 9 and also my resolutions that I had for that year, and then moving forwards what I plan to make during 2020 and also the plans that I have for this channel. So if that's something that you're interested in, please stick around. Okay, so Happy New Year. I'm really sorry that this vlog is coming to you really late. We've had all sorts of illness in our house over the last few weeks, so this has been completely delayed. Yeah, over the Christmas period we had my children with various colds. My husband had tonsillitis, and then at the beginning of this year, for the last 2 weeks, the 3 children have each had sickness and diarrhea, so as you can imagine it's been an absolute nightmare. Luckily I've been all right, so I've been able to look after everybody, but I've had to Dettol the whole house just to clean all the door handles, the light switches, you know, wash all the bedding, everything, just to get rid of any germs. So I'm really sorry that this vlog is later than planned. I do actually have another vlog that I'm going to be bringing to you separately. I was going to include it in this vlog, but I just think it's going to make it way too long for you to watch, and that's a massive fabric and pattern haul. I've been updating my stash of fabrics and my patterns, and I've sort of paired them all up together already so that I've got lots and lots of plans to bring to you, so I'll do that in a separate vlog. So for today then, I'm just going to briefly touch on 2019, what I made. And I wrote down all of the items that I made during that year. I had to go through my Instagram account just to have a look back, because I don't usually write them down as I go along, but I think that is something that I'm going to do this year so I can keep track of what I do make. I didn't make as many duplicates as I thought I did. I did make quite a lot of the Blackwood cardigan, but that is a real staple in my wardrobe. Yeah, so I'm really happy with that being a repeat. I don't mind that. And again, the Ogden cami as well, that's another staple that I quite like to wear throughout the year. So I totted up in total 41 items that I made, and 28 of those were for myself. So I did do quite a lot of sewing for other people. I made 5 things for friends and family, 3 things each for my boys, and then there were 5 non-garment projects as well. So I'm not going to go through everything completely individually because you'd just be bored stiff of me reeling them off, but if you want to check back at all my other makes, you can look back at my past vlogs basically. So I was really happy with the dressmaker's ball dress that I made. I must say that's probably my most extravagant make to date, just because it was quite a time consuming process to make that, and I really did enjoy wearing that on the day as well. So if you want to check that vlog out, I'll put a card up above so you can watch that vlog. And it was just different techniques that I'd not done before, and I did alter it slightly to have a lining inside all the way through to the bottom of the skirt, so that was quite a challenge as well, so I really did enjoy that. I can't believe that was probably like this time last year I'd started thinking about making it. Yes, that was lovely. And also the Colette peony dress was one of my favourites. The Colette Laurel was one of my favourites, even though I had a right nightmare getting that to fit me. In the end, I really enjoyed wearing that dress throughout the summer last year. Yeah, so a really good year overall. So moving forwards, I've bought lots and lots of patterns and lots of fabrics to update my stash, so I have got a mammoth list of things that I want to make during this year. So 2019 I did do a Make 9 list, and I actually managed to make 6 off that 9, so that's not too bad considering the year before I think I only maybe did 2 or 3 off that list. So just to update you with what I had on the list for 2019, it was the Southbank sweater dress, the Molly top, the toaster sweater version 2, the Bettine dress, either the Mila dungarees or the Jenny overalls, the Camden pinafore, and the New Look 6446 jumpsuit, the Chloe coat, and the Laurel dress. So I managed to do the Southbank sweater dress, which I do have that to show you today actually, because I've got 3 makes that I've done. And I managed to do the Molly top, and the toasted sweater version 2, the Bettine dress, and the new look 6446 jumpsuit alongside the Colette Laurel. So not too bad. I've still got the Camden pinafore left to do, my Chloe coat as you know, and some dungarees. So I've put down the Mila dungarees or the Jenny overalls because I wasn't really sure which one I was going to do. So I have transferred some of these onto the Make 9 list for this year. So for this year's Make 9 then, I've put down again the Sew Over It Chloe coat because I obviously bought that gorgeous boiled wool from Guthrie and Garney whilst I was at Sew Brum last year, and I haven't dared cut into that yet, and I have bought some fabric from a shop in Leicester just to do a practice version, just to make a wearable toile. And then I've got the Nina Lee Camden pinafore down on my list again, and the Jennifer Lauren Ivy pinafore because you know I always love a pinafore dress. I've got the Deer and Doe Sirocco jumpsuit on there, the Sew Over It Betty dress, the Tilly and the Buttons Nest skirt, and the McCall's M7547 dungarees. Now I'll show you the pattern. That's this one here. So it's looks like quite a 70s look, but I'm going to change it up slightly so it's not going to look like that. So I will show you that when I do my fabric haul. You'll see how I'm going to make it. And then the Sew Over It Lulu dress and the Sew Over It Rosie dress. So I've got quite a few Sew Over It patterns in there. And that's because I did have quite a few printed onto A0 at the beginning of last year. So I need to crack on with those patterns really. So I'd like to get those done. So that's my Make 9. My resolutions for last year, I did manage to get quite a few done, although I didn't end up doing a craft fair, and I haven't made any pillows or homemade stuff for the home yet. So I do still plan to do that this year. So I'm not actually going to do like a resolutions list this year. I'm just going to try and do as much as I can possibly fit in, basically. Yeah, so that's my Make 9 for this year then. So moving forwards, I've got a massive list of things to make for 2020, and I'm just going to go through them as much as I can really, and just do it in kind of order of how the seasons are. So I'm not going to make things like that aren't season appropriate. I want to make them and then be able to wear them, because I found last year I started making things that weren't in the right season, and then some things got cut out and got left, and then other things just didn't get made because I'd gone from out of that season basically. So yes, so for this channel then moving forwards, I would like to do a few more tutorials, and also because I don't really buy a lot of ready-to-wear clothing, the only ready-to-wear clothing that I do buy is usually from the charity shop, and sometimes I buy things in a size that isn't my size or something that needs changing on it. So I don't know whether you'd be interested in me showing you what I do to those charity shop items if I am going to be making any alterations. Is that something that you'd be interested in seeing? Because I actually do have 2 garments at the moment that I want to change up. Now the garments actually are exactly the same as each other. One's a red and one's a blue, but I'll show you them just so you can see what I'm talking about. These are both dresses from Next, and they're in a lovely Breton stripe, as you can see, and they are quite a sort of longish dress, probably just above knee length, but they're more fitted than your Coco style sort of A-line dress that I've made in the past. Now the sleeves have this bell section on the end, and this is the bit that I want to change up. I don't like that, and I don't like the way the stripes are going that way on the front, and then when I turn it round on the back they're going diagonal. It just doesn't really make any sense. I don't like the way they've cut the material, and I just don't like that sleeve at all. So I'm thinking of taking that off, or putting another ruffle on there, but a very like a narrower one, so one that would only be maybe that sort of long on there. It's a shame that I don't actually have any fabric like this to extend the sleeves to make them long or 3/4 length, because I think if I just took that section off there, they're only going to come to sort of elbow length, and I don't really like that length on me. Now the other one is a navy and white stripe version, exactly the same dress. So again, it's got the stripes like that on there. So I'm going to take that off. But I do actually have some fabric, as you can see, that is basically exactly the same. So I have some fabric left over from this that I think I could use to either extend the sleeve or again add a very small ruffle on there. So I'm going to have a think about that. It is more of a figure hugging dress, so I'm a little bit more self-conscious in it because I do like my A-line shapes a bit more. So I might keep it dress length, or I might shorten it to a top because I do wear those ever such a lot with jeans and things. So yeah, I mean, they were a bargain. I haven't taken the ticket off these, but £3.95 from Loros for that dress, and probably the same for the other one as well. So if that is something that you're interested in me sort of showing you what I do to garments that I get from charity shops, then I will include that on this channel. I mean, I won't show you things that I buy from charity shops and I don't make any alterations to, because that's pointless, isn't it, really? Because you're not going to get any benefit from that, because it's just shop bought items that, you know, you're not going to be able to get hold of, really. And also, I've started doing a little bit of knitting again, and I am going to be starting to do a little bit of crochet. So would you be interested in seeing that on this channel as well? I've just started a knitting project actually, using some chunky wool, and I've not ever knitted with chunky wool before. I've always just used double knit, and I do find that this is quite an enjoyable knit because it grows. So I'm making a cardigan for myself, and I'll show you the pattern that I'm using. It's not a very good picture because my dad printed it off on his printer, and the styling's not very nice. Look at this, but it's just a normal sort of cardigan, but at the top it has got a cable effect, just like a yoke across the top. And I've bought myself a cable needle, but I've never used a cable needle before. So my mum is going to be helping me to do that, to show me how to do it. So it is really easy. So I think once I get the knack of it, it should be okay. So I'm going to attempt to make that. So I have been knitting a bit of it already. So I've started on the sleeve, and so it has grown quite significantly. I've only been doing it a few days. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with how that's coming out. So let me know if yeah, if you're interested in seeing that once it's finished, seeing any knitting. And Jane from Loopy Mabel's Closet, you may know her for her dressmaking, but she also does a lot of crochet, which she does mention on her channel, on her dressmaking channel. And I'm going to be buying one of her snugs that she makes. I think it's the Mabel snug, yeah, that I've ordered, will be ordering off her website. But I also thought I'd give it a go myself. So I ordered a pattern from her website for the honeycomb snug, and I've got some wool which I've had delivered, and I'm going to make it in this denim blue colour. And I've already got crochet hooks because I have had a go at crocheting in the past. But I just learnt the basic stitches just to do straight lines. So this one has more of a pattern in it. So we'll see how I get on. But she's got step-by-step tutorials on her crochet YouTube channel. So I'm going to try and go along with that specific tutorial for the honeycomb snug. So it'll be interesting to see how I get on with that. But I will be ordering the Mabel one for her to make up for me, because I don't trust myself to, yeah, be very quick with it, and I'd like to have one whilst it's still a bit chilly out there. Yeah, so let me know if again you're interested in seeing that as well. So I think that's basically all I've got planned for this year. So my next vlog that I'm going to upload is obviously going to be all my fabrics and patterns that I've got recently, and there are so many. I've gone a bit crazy, so I've got quite a busy year ahead of me, which is exciting. And I hope to get as much done as possible. This year I have really thought about what I want to make and to add to my wardrobe. At the moment I cannot fit anything else in my wardrobe. I am literally like rammed everything in there to the point that I can't get things out easily. I'm having to really force things in and out. I've started using my husband's side a little bit. He's like, this is temporary, you need to go through all your stuff. I was like, yeah, I know. So I am going to have to go through all my things and get rid of some stuff that I don't wear anymore. And I think a lot of the stuff I get rid of isn't my handmade garments. It will be stuff that I've had ready to wear in the past. You know, I've kept things for years, thinking, oh, I'll wear that again, but then, you know, you don't. So I do actually have 3 garments to show you that I have actually made recently. I made one during December, and I've made 2 things that I can show you for the month of January so far. I did also make another garment, but I can't actually show you that, and that's because it was a pattern test for bobbins and buttons. Now I have mentioned them before on my channel, and the lady's name is Julia. She's based in Countersthorpe in Leicester. She actually has a studio where she does workshops, and she has an online shop for her fabric and patterns. In the past she just focused on children's patterns, but recently she has branched out into adult patterns. So I have just pattern tested a garment for her, and I'm really excited that it's going to be coming out soon, and it's right up my street. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. I will just show you the fabric that I used for it actually. And I got this from Flamingo Fabrics, and it's a teal needle cord fabric with these white stars on. Really, really good quality actually. It wasn't that badly priced either, so I was really quite surprised at how good the quality of this fabric is. The only downside to it, I will say, is that the stars are printed on, so I'm not sure how they're going to last. We'll see how it goes. And I do find if you pull the fabric really, you know, quite harsh, it does split the printed stars a little bit. And also when I was putting pins through it, I did find it did pierce it a little bit. So we'll see how it goes actually on the garment for washing and that kind of thing. But it's washed fine for the pre-wash. Yeah, and it was really nice to work with. This is a stretch needle cord, so it's got quite a generous amount of stretch in it. Yeah, so I'll keep your eyes peeled for that garment coming up in one of my future vlogs. Okay, so the 3 garments that I made then, 2 are the same, so it is a duplicate, but the reason for that was because the first version I made came up a little bit short, so I made another one and I've just added a little bit of length to it. So firstly, this is the Sew House 7 Toaster version 2 sweater, and I made one in the past last year using a loop back stripy jersey, just like this really, which was from Guthrie & Garney. Now it was a remnant piece that I picked up from there, and I didn't have enough to do the full length sleeves. Yeah, so there wasn't enough. Now what I did with that pattern last year was that I lengthened it by 2 inches in the bodice for the front and the back. Excuse me, and this time I've lengthened it by 4 inches just because I wanted it a little bit longer. The one that I made previously, I did have to wear a top underneath it just because I didn't like the length that it fell at on my body. So I'm really pleased with the 4 inches that I've added. Also, this is a size small, so that's a size smaller than I make for the Toaster Sweater version 1, which is the one with the raglan sleeves. For that one I've made a medium in the past. So this one just come up slightly bigger because it's a little bit more of a drapey fit. So this particular fabric is from Sew Me Sunshine, and it's a Ponte Roma. Now this is absolutely nothing to do with Sew Me Sunshine whatsoever, but when this fabric turned up I was actually quite disappointed. And the reason for that is it's exactly the same fabric that I've bought in the past from John Lewis. So I've used it for a cocoa dress, and I've also used the white one with the blue stripe on a cocoa top, and the blue version for some reason has bobbled quite significantly on my cocoa dress, but the white version for the cocoa top, it hasn't. It's actually washed and worn really, really well. I've had it now for about 2 years and it's worn so well. I think the only thing wrong with it now is that the deodorant has started to stain it slightly, so I am going to be making another one of those. But anyway, yeah, so when this fabric came, I was a little bit disappointed that it was the same fabric, and it's nothing to do with the fact that I had to pay delivery for it, and I could have got it from John Lewis, because essentially I still would have had to have paid sort of delivery as such, because I would have paid car parking or bus fare. So it was just the quality of the fabric. And I mean, the quality itself it's fine as a ponte. The thickness is lovely. It's really easy to work with. I've had no problems with sewing it up. It's just the fact that my previous make in this particular fabric has bobbled quite a lot. So I'm hoping that this one might not, but over time it might just get as bad. I don't know. So yeah, I was just thinking that it was going to be a slightly different Ponte Roma to what I had ordered or bought in the past. Anyway, on to the make itself. So this is the size small, like I say, lengthened 4 inches front and back bodice. I've used my overlocker throughout, so that's worked out really nicely. What I did do though was baste the side seams and the sleeves all in one first of all before I used my overlocker, because I just wanted to check fit On my last one, I did find it was really, really gapey under the armpits and quite a lot of excess fabric across here. So this time I used a slightly larger seam allowance. So the seam allowance for this pattern is 1.5 centimetres or 5/8 of an inch. So I actually used 1.75 centimetres instead of the 1.5. So that's in between 1.5 and 2 centimetres on my machine. And I just measured from the needle with a tape measure to see where that came to and followed like a little line on my machine to get that 1.75 centimetres. And that has brought it in quite a lot, and I'm really pleased with the fit on it. So it's not as baggy as it should be, and it has brought the sleeves in quite a lot. So if you wanted to bring it in slightly down the sides but wanted to leave the sleeves at their standard sort of width, you could still do that. You just have to sort of go from the armpit and do the larger seam allowance. So what I'll do is I'll stand back so you can see it at the length it's at and the width and the fit of it, and then I'll get changed into my next make. So it's come to sort of that length on the front. There is a dropped hem at the back, so that comes down to sort of in the middle of my bum really. You can see that it's brought it in a lot. So the sleeves are slightly tighter, like I say, but I don't mind that. I think it looks nice and keeping with it. Yeah, and the funnel neck, you know, it stands up quite nicely. I don't have that excess across here that some people get sort of like this. Because of bringing it in, it's giving it a nice finish across there, and the shoulder seams are sitting absolutely in the right place. So I'm really, really happy with this one. So I'm going to be getting rid of the one that I made last year just because I don't find it as comfortable to wear as this one. And if I'm feeling a little bit chilly, because this Ponte Roma isn't massively thick, I just wear, I'm going to sound really old now, like a thermal underneath, not like a vest, but a thermal top that I wear underneath. It has got sparkles on it, so it is quite funky. It just keeps me that little bit warmer because our house can get quite chilly in the winter. I'm actually shivering now. I've got the heating on, but I'm still cold. Okay, so I'll get changed into my next make then. My next make then is the Nina Lee Southbank sweater dress. I nearly said Camden Pinafore then, I don't know why, but yeah, the Southbank sweater dress. And I've made it in some sweatshirting fabric that I got from Crafty So and So in Leicester. It's grey with like a marl effect running through it. If I come in, you'll see it's got like a various different colours in it. Yeah, just like a marl effect. And I've made the size 10 but graded out to a size 12 at the hips, and I did find this pattern really, really easy to grade. So I've used my French curve to follow the sort of curve line from the waist around the hips, just to go out from the 10 to the 12, just down to the bottom. So the sleeves are a 10, the neck's a 10, the top half is a 10 and the rest is a 12 at the bottom, and it fits me perfectly. The only thing I will say is that this pattern came up a lot shorter than I thought it would. So if you are going to make this dress and you're 5'5" or above, you definitely probably will need to lengthen it. I have now made another one, which is going to be my next make that I'll show you, and I've lengthened it by 1.5 inches at the base of the dress section before putting the hemband on. What I will say is that when you wear this dress with tights, because it's got like a fleecy back, it does ride up. So I've found that I've been wearing it with my just a ready-to-wear slip that I bought from Marks and Spencer's, which I wear under quite a lot of my dresses to prevent them sticking to my tights if my dress isn't lined. So it does, the slip actually does stick out a little bit at the bottom of the hem of this because this dress is a little bit too short for me. But I wear it with black tights and I don't actually mind how it looks. Once I'd made this dress up, I wore it for a few days and I found that I just felt a little bit grey in it. So I was wearing it with a big scarf to sort of break it up a little bit. But I obviously don't want to be wearing it with a scarf all the time. So what I decided to do was to put this motif on. And I've used some vinyl, and it's like a glitter vinyl. If I can come in and see if you can see that. It's a bit bright. It is glittery. And I got that vinyl from Happy Fabric, and I just ordered one sort of A4 sheet of it online and then cut out the star shape. I used a cookie cutter to get the shape and then just downsized the size slightly for the second star and just ironed those on, and that worked out absolutely fine. I don't have one of these Cricut machines or anything like that, and I'm not going to be buying one of those because they're just way out of my price range for the amount of time that I probably would use it. Yeah, but I'm really pleased with how that has turned out, and it's just broken up the grey really, so I'm really pleased with that. The other alteration that I did make was actually to the collar. So you'll see that this is actually folded over at the moment. I would lift it up, but I've got my mic on. But basically when I lift it up, it's the height of the Toaster version 1 sweater neckband. So I've just kept the width exactly the same. I just lengthened or made it taller as such, just because I quite liked that height of the collar on the Toaster. But when I attached it then to this dress, I didn't actually like it all that much, and I was considering taking it off and putting the proper pattern piece on. But as I can roll it down, I have just left it as is. And sometimes it's quite nice to have it high underneath a coat with a big thick scarf on if you want to keep your neck nice and warm. But the next one I'm going to put on, you'll see that I've just used the standard pattern piece, and I do quite like that. So it's something that I probably wouldn't do again, is to make it taller. So I'll stand back so you can see where this comes on me and how the shape is on my figure now that I've graded between the two sizes, and where the length of the dress falls on me, just to remind you I'm 5'5". Okay, so you'll see it's nice, just skims over my hips. You will see that I've obviously got a slip on and it is sticking out at the bottom, but I don't actually mind how that looks. It looks like it's part of the dress in a way. I've got it on with black tights. I do have a bit of excess here as normal, because this is sort of a shift style jersey dress. Stand back so you can see it in more detail. Yeah, so when I first made this dress up, I was really, really pleased that I basically got the fit spot on straight away when I did that grading. It was just pure fluke. I just graded it right at the right place. So really pleased with that. And I really do like wearing this jumper dress. So I'll pop the other one on so you can just see the slight difference in the length. Okay, so this is the second version then that I've recently made. This is a sweatshirt in fabric again, but this time from Minerva. And I've been gifted this fabric in return for a blog post, so this will be one of the first ones that I send off to them this year. Really, really happy with the fabric, really nice quality, feels really bouncy, if that makes sense, squidgy, and it's nice fleece backed as well on there, so nice against your skin, keep you nice and snuggly. So again, like I say, I've lengthened this by 1.5 inches just at the base of the dress piece before adding the hemband on, and that is the perfect length for me. So I shall again stand back so you can see. Just mention the collar. This is the standard pattern piece for the collar, so I really like the height of that. Again, so I wouldn't need to roll this one down. Yeah, just I think the Toaster version sort of comes more up to here, so it is quite under my chin a lot more. I haven't put any embellishments on this one, and I'm just going to leave it as is because I don't think it needs it, because it is quite a nice bright colour, although I do think it would look quite nice with a mustard scarf or something with it. So I shall stand back. Again, I've still got it on with my slip, but it's not sticking out at the bottom this time because that extra length added. Yeah, it just skims over my hips nicely again, so again the same size. So this is a nice addition again to my wardrobe for the sort of winter months whilst it's a little bit colder. Yeah, and just nice for wearing around the house. It's got a drop sleeve, I don't think I mentioned that before, so it doesn't quite sit on your shoulders, it just comes over a bit more. And I have just used my overlocker throughout to sew this garment up. I do always baste my neckbands on first on my sewing machine, just because I find that easier than just doing it straight on the overlocker, so I can test that the fit is right, and it just makes it then going onto the overlocker a little bit easier than when the pins are in, so there's no pins there to get stuck on the blade or ruin the blade, as it were. Yeah, so really, really pleased with this make. So that's my 3 makes that I've done so far, apart from the other one that I mentioned for bobbins and buttons. What I did forget to mention actually is that Julia contacted me at the beginning of the year to test that pattern out for her, but she also asked me if I would be interested in being part of their blogger team. So of course I've said yes, and it's just going to be like doing a couple of blogs a year, so it's not going to be as regular as when I do blogs for Minerva. So I have already ordered some fabric from her to make a pattern up to showcase on her website when I do a blog, so I'll show that in my fabric haul for you. So quite excited to get on with that, yes. So But that's all for today, so I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please do like and subscribe. I haven't forgotten that I'm going to do a 2,000 subscriber giveaway, so that is going to be up and coming. I'm really sorry that I keep mentioning it and I've not done it yet. It's just, it's like I say, we've had quite a lot of illness in our house the past few weeks, so January can just do one. I've had enough of January already. I know January is usually quite a bleak month because everybody's waiting for payday, and it's always just a bit of a miserable month after Christmas. They're trying to get the Christmas excess off and that kind of thing. Yeah, so that's what I've been trying to do as well, because I did gain a little bit of weight during December and over Christmas, so I was kind of back to square one at the beginning of January. I have since lost the Christmas excess, so I'm just getting back into healthy eating, and I've started my running again because, again, that took a back seat whilst everybody was ill. But I have just changed running clubs, so yeah, much more interesting with the running club that I am going to be joining. It's just more my kind of style. Sorry, ramble over. Thank you again, like I say, for tuning in. Nice to have you here with me, and I shall see you soon with my next vlog for a pattern and fabric stash update. Take care, see you soon, bye.